because they were goofing off. And I said, you know what? No basketballs. Get on the baseline. And so
Just
I'm
running
just
drills.
running. I'm just running. I'm running. So one of my players, Raquel, she comes up to me. She puts her hand on my shoulder, and she goes, Coach, I just got a question for you. And I'm like, what? She said, did your wife break up with you and you're taking it out on us today?
Break
I'm
up.
like, no, get back on the baseline.
You're like, I'm
Right?
trying
You're
to
running
teach you a
even
little
more.
character here.
So, but yeah, that was fun.
Hey, y'all, and welcome back to our Century Check-In podcast brought to you by Century Bank, where we take banking personally. This is our first episode of 2026, so we're real glad to be back with y'all today and have some new people on today. So first of all, my new favorite guest co-host, maybe. We'll see after this is over with if she's still my favorite. I'll let y'all know.
Hey, good morning.
Lacey Martin is here with me today. Lacey is an assistant vice president here at the bank and also the branch manager at the marketplace office here in Lucedale. So she's on with me today. And we have a special guest on with us today. Y'all know here at Century Bank that we are all about community service, community outreach, being involved in our community. So we're really excited today that we have Tee McCovey on today. He is the president and CEO of United Way, Jackson, George, Greene County. Did I say that right? Did I get that in the right order?
Counties.
I'm so sorry, counties. And he is going to tell us a little bit about what's going on with United Way, but also, you know, all the things that he's involved in and what he does. I was reading over your bio. It's quite impressive, T. I was real anxious to talk to you about several things that are on here this morning. But first of all, I just wanted us to start with your role at United Way and tell our viewers a little bit about just, you know, the mission statement, just a little overview of United Way, like what y'all are involved in, what your purpose is, that kind of thing.
Well, United Way is we're a worldwide organization. United Way is the largest human services nonprofit in the world. There are over 1,100 United Ways worldwide, and each United Way is governed by a board. Our United Way here, we're different from a lot of other United Ways, and I've often said that we are a comprehensive nonprofit. We're on the front lines of all the different unmet needs in the community.
Okay.
Specifically, our United Way, we are a 4-star platinum rated United Way, which is the highest industry rating that you can get. And also United Way worldwide, where all 1,100 of our United Ways fall under. Chronicles of Philanthropy is the kind of the watchdog group for nonprofits, and we were rated the #1 nonprofit in the world.
How about that? And
Yes.
when you say 1,100, is that 1,100 chapters? Is that what you're? Is that
Well,
what that-
they're independent United Ways. Like we're the United Way for Jackson, George, and Greene counties. The United Way in Harrison County is the United Way of South Mississippi, and they handle Harrison, Hancock, Pearl River, and Stone counties.
Okay.
So each one is governed by a board.
A separate board.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And you guys are very active as far as y'all do a lot in all three of the counties.
Absolutely.
I know you do a lot here in George.
And I've often said that, you know, the right side, you've heard of the United Way campaign. We have 16 agencies that fall under United Way. That's the right side of the house. And the left side of the house is where we go after philanthropic dollars, grant dollars for those other challenges in the community that may not have a funding source for.
Trying to make your service projects, huh?
That's right.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your service projects. I know you have different ones in each county depending on what the need is there. I know when we talked yesterday, I was real impressed to know that you had told us that y'all had recently started a cold weather shelter. Did I say that right? Cold weather shelter in Jackson County.
Right. And that was a huge need in the community. It's like every year someone would call and say, hey, is there a cold weather shelter in Jackson County? So we partnered with the Chamber of Commerce and several other organizations in the community. And the Board of Supervisors for Jackson County gave us a building at the fairground. And then all the different municipalities within Jackson County, Ocean Springs, Moss Point, Goshen, Pascagoula, all the PD, the police departments handled the security along with the Jackson County Sheriff's Department.
Oh, okay. Great.
Now the building, how many people does it hold?
So the first night we had 40 individuals, men and women, to come to the shelter.
And that's good for just opening.
Right,
So that's,
right. And a lot of them, and that's another thing that we're on the front lines of is the homeless situation in Jackson, Georgia, and Greene counties. But a lot of folks that are still in the woods, they didn't want to leave their stuff because that was they're real, protective of their stuff. And you think about them going to the fairgrounds and their stuff being unattended to, and theft and all of that. That's a huge problem within the homeless community.
Yeah. And there's so many ways, to give back. I know a lot of people are searching for ways to give back and serve and do. And if you can't contribute monetarily, do you have to have volunteers to make those kinds of things happen? Your time, your talents, whatever it takes to do that?
Absolutely. We have this 3 words of give, advocate, and volunteer. Okay. Wherever you can plug in those different avenues, and especially the advocacy part of it is because a lot of people don't know about United Way. When I started work at United Way 8 years ago, my sister's a retired educator, and I told her I was going to work at United Way. Now, she worked for the Pascagoula Goshen School District for 30 years, and she said, I've been giving to United Way for 30 years. Exactly what do you guys do?
Where does my money go?
Right. Huh? And I'm like, don't you tell anybody that. so we're
do not create doubt. Do not create doubt.
Right. So we're constantly remaking ourselves, marketing ourselves. I was at the store one day and I had a United Way hat on, and then the guy looked at it and he says, "So you work for United Airline?" And I'm like, "No." And when I turned, he saw the Way, he just saw the United and not the Way or United Healthcare. We get that question a lot too. Okay. What kind of insurance do you guys cover and stuff like that?
And there's no affiliation with those other entities.
No, we're completely independent.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, nonprofit.
Yeah.
I know you and Lacey have served on the Rotary board here locally in Lewisville for several years together. Tell us about how do you use that avenue to get the word out here about United Way?
Well, Rotary is, our motto is service above self. And that's typically what we do at United Way. In our business, we've raised our hand and we've kept it raised to be of service in our community. And so Rotary was just a great fit for United Way and what we do. So when I came to United Way 8 years ago, that was one of the gaps that I saw in the community was we needed to be a part of Rotary. So United Way, we have other staff members that are members of the United Way, and the Rotary Club in Goshen, Moss Point, Ocean Springs, and half of our board is members of the Pascagoula Rotary Club.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah. And when I say half of our board, we have a 40-member board.
40.
Right.
Wow, that's
so
a lot.
So when I hear people talk about their boss, and I'm like, I don't want to hear it. I have 40.
You got a lot to answer to.
Right.
That's a lot of chiefs barking orders sometimes, huh?
Well, I try to keep them, in line with our mission and vision and values of what we do. And they will tell you that I'm their boss and not vice versa. Right.
Yeah. I know Rotary is, really great with partnering with things. Lacey currently is serving on the board with Junior Auxiliary. That's a new service community outreach program that started here in George County in the last 3 years.
Yeah. So we got our charter in 23. So we're a new chapter here, but same as United Way, Junior Auxiliary is on a national level. So there is nearly 100 different chapters in, there's 7 different states. So it's on a national level as well. So it's a large organization. Sure. We're just new to bringing it to our area. Yeah. So. But we're very active as far as giving back in the community as well.
Community service and outreach projects and things like that.
We recently had a soiree. It was the Moonlight and Magnolia soiree. And
Such
that
a fancy
was
word for those of you who don't know what a soiree is.
we were soireeing. So that was our fundraiser for the year, and that's what we used to the funds off of that is what we used to do our service projects for the rest of the year. So
Yeah.
it was a big event.
I was noticing on the Facebook page for United Way, whenever I was scrolling through that, y'all have, I think, was it 3 or 4 events coming up just in the next month? So y'all are real busy.
Y'all are very active.
Our United Way's been in our community since 1959. So this is our 66th year of service in our community. We have our annual meeting coming up in March. Dr. Bradley from the community college in Gaucher will be our keynote speaker. We will also be raffling off $5,000, $100 a ticket. If you need a ticket, see me. So,
get your tickets.
But yeah, it's we have a lot of different things going on. But that's the major thing that's coming up is our annual meeting, and it's a breakfast at the Hilton Garden Inn at 8:00, and we're excited.
In Pascagoula.
Pascagoula.
Okay, great. Back to your board. You were talking about you had a 40-member board. Now, do you have representatives from each community that you serve on that board?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Jackson, George, and Greene Counties all have representatives from the community. Here in George County, you have Nancy Jo Maples and Tanya Beach. And in Greene County, we have Shelley Eubanks and April Stennett.
Okay, great.
All 4 are home run hitters.
Yes, Nancy Jo and Tanya, we know them for sure. I know we have a young guy employee that's just kind of getting started involved with your organization, and he's been real excited, wanting to get involved and do some projects with y'all. We have a program here that we started after one of our longtime employees passed away. We had a campaign going that year called Work, Serve, Play. It's kind of like the motto of what we tried to do and support and promote into our employees. And so we give an award every year at the end of the year for the employee who has been dedicated and shown the most service in the outreach. And so Cruise, of course, they get to choose the organization of their choice to make their donation to. So he made that donation to United Way this year. So we were really excited about that. He was really excited about it. Yeah. He wanted to come to Rotary. Was that in February we came? That was a few weeks ago.
It was early February.
Early February. Yeah. So he's been really excited.
He presented his check.
He presented the check. So we were glad we could do that and hopefully partner another time with any events that y'all have coming up. Tell us a little bit about like the projects that you have going on now locally. Do y'all have any current projects going on that people would be interested in being involved in, giving their time to, giving their donations to?
Well, we just finished one with there's a new organization in Jackson County of building beds for young people. And the different Rotary clubs, we partnered with them to actually go and build beds. And so I have the number to the guy that because I thought about George County and Greene Counties. I didn't know that there's so many children every night that sleep on the floor, sleep on the couch. And so this nonprofit, God, what's the name of it? I want to say Bed Bath and Beyond, but that's
that's a store. We like to shop there.
Bath and Body. You can tell I've been hanging around my wife. But Sleep in Heavenly Peace is the name of this nonprofit.
Oh, wow.
And so what they do, they go into a community and see how many children that don't have beds. And then they start, basically you build these beds from scratch. And so that was a huge project we had probably about a month ago. And we built in 4 hours, I think it was 75 beds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's very alarming. I know the last few years, Stacy and I, our marketing officer that works here, we are actually serving on an advisory committee to the superintendent here locally of education in George County. And it's been very eye-opening to me in those meetings, the number of students who they classify as homeless. And, that just is so alarming to me. I think it's alarming to all of us. We didn't thankfully grow up that way. And then, of course, getting to know the teachers and kind of how they go about that, like what the classification is for that. It's not necessarily that they don't actually have a roof to go to, but you mentioned beds, and one of the classifications for that is that if they were housed in a home, whether it's with an aunt, a grandparent, or relative, but they didn't have a designated bed or room for themselves, then
They're
that
considered
is
homeless.
yes,
Right.
and that just
Yeah.
was so mind blowing, eye opening to me. The number of students that we have locally that
hard to
that's
wrap your brain
affecting.
around.
It really is. Yeah.
Well, that's one thing the United Way does. We're in touch with all the superintendents of the school districts, and they periodically will call us and say, "Hey, we have a family that's homeless. Can you guys put them in a hotel until we figure out their permanent residence?" So that's something that we do year round with the school districts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a great project. I really do. And
Now, with that project, does CASA incorporate at all? Because aren't they kind of known for like placing some of the children or during?
Well, CASA comes in if there's some abuse and then
Okay.
if it's gone to the court system.
Okay.
So
okay.
yeah, we will definitely refer to them, or if in some cases there's some sexual assault, we will contact our other United Way agency, Gulf Coast Center for Nonviolence.
Okay. Okay. I didn't know if it was incorporated at all. So.
Yeah, we all partner and we may take a family to a certain distance, and then we hand the baton off to someone else, and then they'll take them for a month or so until we get them to their final destination.
Okay.
Yeah, it truly is a partnership.
it is.
Well, and everybody's working to meet the same goal, so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, for sure. Building great leaders. I mean, our country's not going to go forward if we can't be dedicated to doing that. Reading on through your bio, so impressive. I wanted to touch on. So we started with United Way first, of course, but you are a retired state employee. So what exactly did you do for the state of Mississippi, and how long was that in tenure?
Well, I was the area director over the lower 24 counties of employment offices, and they're called WIN Job Centers now. I guess my biggest takeaway from that when Hurricane Katrina hit.
Okay.
So it came in through Waveland and traveled down the coast and up. So all 24 counties that I was over was affected. My budget was about $8 million a year. And then we got $100 million from the Department of Labor, which is $1 billion. And my budget went from that $8 million to $68 million because we got $60 million of that $100 million for our area. And we had to build WIN Job Centers. And it was so funny because we hadn't talked to anyone in about 2 weeks after the storm. And so I said, you know what? I need to go to Jackson. And so I went to our state office and they were like, Tee. And I'm like, yeah, what's going on? And they're like, you need to get upstairs. And so I go upstairs in this huge kind of a war room, and they had my name on this board as missing, right? Because no one had.
yeah, there was
I'm
no
like,
contact.
What is like? These are the people. I was like, take him off, take her off, and
Yeah.
And so they had me as being missing,
Missing
and
in
half of
action,
my
huh?
staff were. The managers were missing because they couldn't get in touch with anyone. And it was at that moment that we decided to go with satellite phones. And so you got these huge satellite phones that where we can, if anything happens,
Right.
with the cell towers, we can still communicate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was quite the time. There's
Right.
so many things to
It
remember
was.
during that time.
Well, and then the BP oil spill. That was another thing that we were, you have, anytime you have a disaster, it brings out the best of people and the worst in people. So we had a lot of organizations that were coming to Mississippi saying that they had these jobs, and then they would go to a WIN Job Center and have a kind of a career fair and tell these folks that they were hired, and then they were not. And so actually Governor Barber's office called me because, Department of Employment Security is an office of the governor. And they said, Tee, every job that comes through, any employer that calls, we need a employment czar for that, right? So they gave me this fancy title. So I was the employment czar. So I had to tell people whether they could have a job announcement in our system or not. And I remember a business from Pleasanton, California called, and I said, I'm sorry, but you're not on the list. And they said, well, I'll just call the governor's office. And I said, well, I'm telling you, when you call the governor's office, they're going to tell you, have you talked to Tee McCovey? Because he's the guy that approves those job announcements. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big job.
It was a big job.
Yeah,
So you've been retired from the state for
since 2011.
2011, and you went straight into United Way work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, actually, see, I only worked for the state 19 years.
Okay.
Right. But my time in the Air Force, because when I played college basketball, I went and played for the Air Force. So I played 4 years in the Air Force. And when you work for a state agency, your federal time counts towards your retirement. So I worked 19 years, and then 4 years, Air Force put me at 23. And when I retired, I had over 2.5 years of vacation time. So I just put that vacation time toward, like I worked. And that put me at 25 years until I retired then.
Well, how about that?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about your sports background and all that. So I was reading in your bio that you played at several places, like through the Air Force, several countries. And so also that led you into coaching, into like youth basketball and things like that. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that part.
Well, I coached 10 to 12-year-olds, girls basketball. For 6 years. 5 years, we were city champs in Pascagoula. We didn't lose a game till my 4th year of coaching, right? And so a lot of the girls, they went on to play high school ball and play college ball. That was probably the most challenging time because you got 10, 12-year-old girls. They know it all.
They do.
Right. And so, but funny story with that, I was running them one day. And I mean, I'm like, because they were goofing off. And I said, you know what? No basketballs. Get on the baseline. And so
just
I'm
running
just
drills.
I'm just running. I'm running. So one of my players, Raquel, she comes up to me. She puts her hand on my shoulder and she goes, Coach, I just got a question for you. And I'm like, what? She, did your wife break up with you and you're taking it out on us today?
Break up.
I'm like, no, get back on the baseline.
You're like,
right?
you're running even more character here.
So, but yeah, that was fun. Played at Pascagoula High, went and played at Perk, played at Arkansas College from there. And then, people often ask, well, were you any good? And I said, well, I'm in the Hall of Fame of all those institutions. So I guess I was,
It depends on your definition, but by mine, I think so, a little bit, huh? Well, how long were you overseas playing? Tell us a little bit about that.
I was over there for 1.5 years. I was in the Middle East, in Turkey. And then the Mediterranean Sea, that was our conference, the Mediterranean Sports Conference. So you had teams from Italy, Spain, and Greece, and Turkey. Which was different, right? The culture, climate, and when we were in Greece, it was the 1-year anniversary that a nightclub was bombed, and when we get off the plane, it's like, okay, don't wear any red, white, or blue, and so I just stayed in my hotel room. I didn't go out. And so, but the guys went out for the nightlife because Glafada Square is like Bourbon Street in New Orleans in Greece. And I'm like, I am not going out, Back then it was the paper bag. If you see a paper bag on the floor, contact some security or whatever, because when they blew up this nightclub, someone came in and just put a brown paper bag down and left. And I don't know how many people got killed, but but it was really good. And being a pastor now, looking back, I mean, we went to Tarsus and a lot of those biblical sites where, the Apostle Paul was from Tarsus. And when you talk Mesopotamia in the Old Testament, that's modern day Turkey. So, looking back on it, it was a great experience. Yeah. Great experience.
Yeah, you got to see a lot for sure. It sounds like. And experience some not so good times.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Different.
Good and bad, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, speaking of pastoring, tell us a little bit about that. How long have you been pastoring?
Since 2011.
Okay.
that I've been pastoring.
About the time you retired from the state.
Right. And it was right at that time. That's my center is my faith. Everything else spins off from that. We do a lot at our church. Matter of fact, we partner a lot with the United Way. And I've often said this, my wife is a missionary and she's a nonprofit by herself.
Okay.
Right. When we have a need at United Way, and her nickname is Sweet Pea, and so they're like, T, can you call Sweet Pea? When the government shut down, we got a grant for food, and so she put all these bags of food together for us. She ordered the food, put it together, and each bag contains 7 meals in it.
Wow.
So the homeless population, we have showers at our church, so they come in, take showers. We have a laundry facility. They can come and get laundry done, and so, but she oversees all of that.
Yeah, and your church is located
in Pascagoula.
What's the name of it?
Ambassadors for Christ Church.
Ambassadors
right next to
for Christ
Walmart.
Church.
So.
Wow.
Yeah.
So your home has a very serving heart, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
y'all are busy.
Yeah. Real
Now,
busy.
how long has she been a missionary? Is that something that she's...
probably 20 plus years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because we've been...
So service is just what y'all do.
Right.
That's great, T. There's so many people that are in need of that, but there's also so many people that don't find the importance of that in character anymore.
Right.
So that's great that you're out there living what you're speaking.
Right. Well, Jesus said, if you want to be great, be a servant.
That's right.
Not be the person at the top. If you want to be great, I have this a lot when people come to United Way or and they see me. I may be taking the garbage out or whatever, and they'll say, "Excuse me, do you work here?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And like, well, what do you do? And I'm like, "Well, I take the garbage out every Thursday morning." And but when I tell them my title, because they'll go, "I mean, exactly what do you do?" And I said, "Well, I'm the president and CEO." Like, what? No. I'm like,
And
yeah,
I take out the trash.
Yeah, that's
take the
right.
trash, and I do all
Ain't
the
no job
cleaning.
too small, right?
And then, and I'm the only guy in the office, right? So when there's a bug in somebody's office or they can't reach the lights to turn, to put new light bulbs in, I'm that guy.
There you go.
Yeah.
You wear many hats.
A
I
MacGyver.
do.
You got
I
it
do.
all down pat.
I do.
Well, backing up to Rotary real quick, Lacey, let's talk a little bit about that. Like some service projects, that Rotary. What are some things that y'all are involved in with Rotary?
Yeah, so as far as Rotary, our one main large fundraiser is the fair.
Right.
So we always do the entry fee at the fair and keep that running, keep that clean.
Yeah.
That's our fundraiser that pretty much allows us to. This past Christmas, we did the barricades. We split, I believe it was half of the Main Street barricades.
Was like 30,000.
30,000, and then the city match. So, which was
The barricades for the
for the
street.
parade.
Yes.
Yeah, the Christmas parade,
Christmas parade.
which was in a very much so need.
Right.
Yes, it was.
For safety and for children and because our parade, our Christmas parade is growing. So that was a need that we have been talking about for quite a while.
Sure.
And then
Scholarships.
we always do. We pair with Interact at the high school, the Interact students. They're very involved. They help us a lot. So we like to, we give about 4 or 5 scholarships at graduation.
Every year.
Every
High
year.
school, for the high
For
school.
the Interact students. See what else? I know we recently did some food and clothing pantry item. Like we helped donate for that in our surrounding areas. Other Rotary clubs, we all partnered.
Yeah, that was a grant it was a district grant that the clubs in Jackson County and our club here, Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College has a food pantry for their students and a hygiene pantry. So our clubs, we donated $500 each, and we got a district grant. I want to say it was like $3,000 that we were able to give to Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, George County campus, and the Jackson County campus.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, that's great.
That was something new that we did this year. So
Yeah. I'm new to Rotary, so I'm trying to pick y'all's brain to find out all the things.
our
that are-
newest member.
Yeah.
Yes, the newest member. I'll see you Monday.
That's right. And I'll have your ticket.
Yes, and I got my check. I'll bring it. Don't let me remind me. Don't let me forget. I might not bring it. I did want to back up one thing just to finish out your bio. So it said that you finished out your career in California. Tell us a little bit about that.
When I left overseas in the Air Force, I was sent to the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, and played ball in the Bay Area. And then when I got out, I went to work for Macy's as an executive employee with Macy's. Downtown San Francisco. I was in the HR department, and then there was a need in Sacramento, California, for a manager over men's suits and sport coats and slacks and the active wear. And when we're talking stores in San Francisco and Sacramento, we're talking my men's department was probably the size of Dillard's in Biloxi.
Wow.
That whole Dillard store. So you're talking multi-levels of area. Really enjoyed California. I don't know if you guys know, my last name is McCovey. So my uncle is Willie McCovey that played for the San Francisco Giants.
Wow.
Baseball, who's a Major League Baseball Hall of Famer. And then they had when you hit a home run in right field, it went into the Pacific Ocean, and they named that McCovey Cove after my uncle.
Well, I was getting to that. I didn't know if you could get there by yourself. So we have one of our coworkers, her son was drafted by the San Francisco Giants, and she said, "Hey, don't forget to ask Tee about this." And I was like, "Okay." She's like, "I'm not going to tell you. You just ask him." I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
Any other surprises about you that we don't know?
Wow. I mean,
that's an open-ended question.
Right. I guess one of my biggest passions too. I'm the president of our board of directors for our local community feeding center in Pascagoula, Our Daily Bread, and so we do a lot in the community with food insecurities, but we're getting ready to rebrand into a food pantry. So that's another huge need in the community. Not only, it's up here in George County and in Greene County as well. This food insecurity and people not having enough money for food, and that's pretty much along with rental assistance and utilities that we get calls at United Way on, and then a lot of people call us because we are so on the front lines of all these different needs. I've had family members to call and say, "Hey, T, I was given your number by the chamber. We have a family member that won't leave the house. We're trying to sell the house. How can you get that family member to get out of the house?" And I'm like,
"You're like, I'm not the police, so let me think on that."
I can't do that, right? We've had some. One lady called and said she had a nutria rat in her house and wanted to know if we could come. I heard United Way does a lot in the community. Can you guys come and get this nutria rat? I'm like, you need to call it pest control or animal control.
You're like, we do a lot, but I don't know about that.
Right. It's and then when the pandemic hit, that was another thing that I am so proud of our team at United Way. A lot of people were working, remotely, but our United Way, we stayed open during the whole time. You figure probably about 4 years that the pandemic, we had to deal with that. And we were getting Lysol and wipes when no one else could.
Wow.
Right? One of our team members that handled the supplies, and she came to me, she said, "T, I found this site. They will send us 8 cans of Lysol every 2 weeks, 8 boxes of wipes every 2 weeks, and they just want to know how long do we want to do it." And I said indefinitely.
Yeah, keep it
so
coming.
we were actually handing out Lysol and wipes, and when no one else in the community could get those things.
Yeah.
And we never, I can say it now, but that was one of those NDAs where we said, okay, just does not leave this building. Do not tell folks we can get Lysol like this. And so, but we were able to help. And there now people did say, "Where are you guys getting all this Lysol and wipes from?" Just take it. Yeah. Enjoy it. And it wasn't the little small economy size. You talking the big cans of Lysol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was definitely a shortage for
was,
for most
big time.
people. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, speaking back to our United Way really quick, I just wanted to circle back to that on like how do you go about determining, is it the board, is it you, is it at your discretion, like which service projects, which area that you're going to move in with maybe this funding or this grant? You talked about the grants and things
Right,
that
right.
that y'all get, that you're awarded. So how do you go about determining which areas that you need to put those funds into? Is that a board decision?
Well, no, and I can honestly say I have the best board in the world. They provide the sky for me to fly, and so it just depends on what the need is. We have, and our board is they're constantly on the lookout for any unmet needs in the community. I'll give you an example. We had one of our board members came to me one day and he said, "T, there's a cashier at the Wayne Lee's in Pascagoula. She just donated a kidney to someone that she didn't know." And I'm like, "What?" So the person came through her line. She's a cashier, and and the guy had his head down. He's like, "Hey, what's going on?" Like, "Oh, I just came from the doctor. I mean, kidney failure. I need a kidney." And she says, "If I'm a match, you can have one of mine." And lo and behold, she was a match. And so went through all of that, and then we stepped in, was able to give her some financial assistance with her rental assistance, utilities, and then she received our highest award is what we call the United Way Game Changer Award,
Okay.
where we look out into the community and see people that are doing selfless work, and so she received the United Way Community Game Changer Award.
How
for
about that? A true stranger.
Right. Didn't know the guy. Complete opposites, different sex, different racial makeup, the whole 9 yards. And she just, was like, wow.
She said, "I will donate a kidney if I
Yeah,
match." So
right.
yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, truly selfless. It's hard to find that in our
You can't get
society.
family members to donate a kidney,
Right.
let alone strangers.
Yeah.
Right.
At the checkout counter.
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
That. I'm sitting here taking all that in as you say that. So that's wow. That's amazing.
I mean, there are so many different stories that we deal with on a daily basis. Unlike when I worked for the state, we dealt with the unemployment rate and all of that. And those are lag indicators because your unemployment rate is based on last month's numbers. Now working for United Way, I mean, we see immediate results, right? Someone is in need and we're helping with that need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
So like you were talking about, so y'all just get calls just from people in the community, like a hotline? Like people
call
just
the
call the
United Way
office
office,
all the
right.
time and just
Yeah.
Tell you what's
228-762-7662. And hey, this is what I got. And if we can't help them, we will refer them to another
can?
agency.
Another agency.
Right.
Yeah. And so back to what you were saying, is there, I mean, it's a phone call and you go ahead and take their immediate request if you can, but is there any kind of documentation, paperwork? Is there?
Sure. Well, one of the things that, again, is kind of like a disaster. When people know that you're helping financially, it brings out the best in people and the worst in people. So we have a guideline. You have to have income coming in, whether it's a retirement or working. And then, we often ask, and it's real simple. Did you pay your power bill 2 months ago? Yes, I did. Did you pay your power bill last month? Yes, I did. Well, what emergency have you had that you can't pay your power bill this month or rent or, whatever that need is? And, they, every now and then they'll let me answer the phone because I give the whole United Way away. And so I had a guy call and I said, so what emergency have you had that you can't pay your rent? And he said, well, I went to the casino this weekend and I lost all my money.
Oh gosh.
And I said, well, let me refer you to Catholic Social Services. And so we refer out.
And he didn't lie. He just went right on and told you,
yeah.
huh?
And he said, I
Told
lost
you the
all my
truth.
money, at the casino. I'm like, okay, that was self-inflicted.
Self-inflicted,
Right?
for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
But truly it's an issue.
yeah.
I mean, people.
Well, and one of the things is, we're all, United Way donors. Everybody on the team is a leadership donor back to United Way, right? And a leadership donor gives $1,000 to United Way. I'm a de Tocqueville giver, right? Alexis de Tocqueville was a philanthropist from France. And so I give $10,000 or more to United Way every year.
Okay.
And so we call it a contract to the community. So that when we get paid for our work at United Way, it's a contract to the community saying your money that you've donated to United Way, we have custodial care of that money, and we're going to spend that money like you would in your own house. Mm-hmm. Right. And so, we think about the welder at Ingalls in August that's in the bottom of a ship that's welding. And, what would this guy think about, helping this person that really is, and we often say, sitting on the couch with a bag of Doritos in his lap, watching Jerry Springer when they can be working somewhere.
Right.
That's right.
And for me, as a retiree from the Department of Employment and Security, I still have those contacts with the employment office. And I'm like, go to the Wynn Job Center in Pascagoula. Tell them Tee McCovey sent you from United Way, and then they will help you find a job.
That's right.
Yeah, try to find your path from there. So
Right.
I mean, even if it's not your permanent path, something to get back on your feet and get you moving in that direction.
Well, and you mentioned the path. We do run a grant. We got a grant from the governor's office, probably about, this is our 4th year going into this, where we have career coaches at all 7 of the high schools in Jackson County. And so this year we will be submitting for a career coach in George County. And what a career coach is kind of like a guidance counselor on steroids, right? Where they can do things there. We pay them from United Way, from Accelerate Mississippi, which is the Office of Workforce Development, and that's another office of the governor. But they have these grants out that we get $650,000 a year for that project. Okay. But we have these career coaches that are, helping people find. As a matter of fact, it's called P3, your passion, purpose, and paycheck. We want a kid to find their passion, and then that'll trigger into a purpose, and then the paycheck, the funds automatically come when you're doing what you love to do.
I like that.
Yeah,
I do too. Yeah. So, is that just kind of like preparing them for, like leading them on how to create an interview or how to distinguish in an interview, or is it like setting them up for
life after 12th grade? And so we want every student that graduates from high school to be enrolled, enlisted, or employed. Enrolled in some school,
some college,
enlisted in the military, or going straight to work.
Okay.
And so that's what those career coaches help to do. Now we use an assessment tool called U-Science. So they take the U-Science assessment test, and it's about a 45-minute test, and it will tell that child what their interests are. Oh, right.
Okay.
And
that's helpful.
And it gives these different jobs within that career field and what the requirements are and all of that. And so that career coach guides that person into their career path.
That's great.
Interesting.
Yeah. And y'all are currently working on getting one of those
for George County.
County.
Deb and I, we've been working on that.
That's great.
Tried to get it last year, but they were like, T, we're in the middle of a year. And once we met with the George County folks up here and the superintendent and her team, and so, but they said, we got to wait till the next school year.
Yeah. I think that's a great thing to add to.
Absolutely, just to enhance any future plans out of high school. Mm-hmm. So anything to kind of get their mind wrapped around a career, a future, whatever route they want to take. Yeah.
Well, and the Department of Labor calls that child that graduates from high school that don't have a career path an idle youth, right? I don't know. I know in my household, I'm the baby of the family. I knew I was going to play basketball in college somewhere. But, I hear people talk about, well, I'm going to take a year off and find myself, and, not in our house. It wasn't like
Right.
that.
Yeah.
And, times have changed and people are in different eras, and they allow kids to go and, okay, go find yourself. And my family was like, okay, you go find yourself a job.
That's
or you
right.
Go,
That's
Don't,
right.
Don't
You
find
need a-
yourself being idle.
Right.
There
You
go.
either
You
need
don't wanna
school
be
or you
idle.
need a paycheck, like you
Right.
said. So either or.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One last thing I did want to touch on. You own your own business, your own LLC. Tell us a little bit about what that is and what that purpose is.
And it's TMAC Global LLC, and what I do a lot of training, and I started it once I retired, and as kind of this little backup plan, right? If I want to go and do training, because I'm certified to teach the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People from the Franklin Covey Institute, and also the 4 Disciplines of Execution. And so, and now it's a service that United Way offers. I mean, I don't charge anything, but if a company wants to go through the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, I mean, I can take them through that, or the 4 Disciplines of Execution. And a lot of folks have not heard about the 4 Disciplines of Execution. And what it is, Dr. Covey says that, you go to a meeting, and when you leave the meeting, people are like, now, who was going to order the cake, and who was going to? So the 4 disciplines says, and he calls them WIGs, right? Your wildly important goals. And so that's your first discipline, is to focus on your wildly important goals. And then that second discipline is act on your lead measures. Say my wildly important goal, I want to lose 20 pounds by June 30th. Right. And so my lead measures will be, I don't eat after 9, I exercise, So, and then the third one is keep a compelling scoreboard. Right. Okay. So I know for me as an ex-athlete, I still work out and run. I have a calendar in my bathroom that I weigh myself. And if I'm kind of slightly over one morning, I'll put the previous day, ate 2 cheeseburgers, BLT, and then I washed it down with some Bluebell butter pecan ice cream. Right? So, and then that's the third discipline of keeping this compelling scoreboard. And you can watch kids playing basketball in a driveway or something, and you can tell if they're keeping score or not by the quality of their shots. I mean, so, and then the fourth one is keep a cadence of accountability. Have someone in your life that you can that can hold you accountable.
That's right.
Right. Because we're too close to ourselves to hold ourselves accountable.
That is so important for you to have that one person. I mean, and it may be more than one person for some people, but a person who you trust, who they've got your back, they got your best interest at heart, but they're going to be your truth teller too at the same time.
Yeah.
And they're going to keep building you up.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Right. And my wife is that for me. She when I kind of, these were some years ago, kind of picked up a little weight, and one day she says, "When is it due?" And I'm like, "Oh." And I knew what she was talking about. I mean, she didn't have to say, "You know what? You're picking up what," she just said, "When is it due?" And I'm like, "Oh, sweet pea, you're hitting below the belt." She's like, "No, I'm hitting
Sweet
above
pea hit it
the
where you
belt."
hurt, huh?
Right. And so
She's your definite truth
That's
teller.
right.
Or even when I'm preaching, sometimes after, I always say, "Baby, how was the message? You told too many stories. You need to stick to the word." And I'm like, okay. All right,
She's keeping you humble.
She does.
With all that.
She does.
This impressive bio you got.
She
She's
does.
making sure
Right.
you're staying true to who you're supposed to be.
You staying in check.
And at our last Hall of Fame ceremony, and I told them, I said, "Look, she doesn't know the difference between Michael Jordan and Michael Jackson, because she is not, athletic and none of that.
She's not a sports
stuff.
fan.
Her thing is always, okay, how many more of these I got to go to?" Right? And so I said, "Well, baby, you may have one more, the Air Force Hall of Fame." So,
Yeah. We'll wait
you
and
may
see.
got one more.
One more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, great. Well, T, we've enjoyed so much having you on today. You are a
Absolutely.
fountain of knowledge and experience. I tell you what, I've thoroughly enjoyed talking to
I
you today.
appreciate it.
Lacey, you have anything else?
I don't. I just really appreciate. And one last thing, I really am
Oh,
enjoying
yeah.
these socks down
Yeah,
here.
let's get a look at those.
Socks. Yeah.
I know you are
Advertising
sporting-
everywhere you go.
Right. Right. A walking marketing piece for United Way.
There
I
you
like
go.
it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it too.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again so much
Thank you
for
guys for
coming on,
having
Lacey.
me.
I'm glad to have you. I'm sure you'll be back sometime this year with me.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
That's all we have for today. Thank y'all so much for joining us. Tune in next time. Be sure to like and subscribe wherever you get your podcast, and y'all have a great day.